Welcome to another episode of SwillinGrog's Wonderful World of Beer. This time around I'll be reviewing Bulimba Gold Top Pale Ale, 4.9% alcohol by volume, brewed and canned by Carlton United Breweries, who are a wholly owned subsidiary of the Foster's Group, who are currently being taken over by SABMiller, or SABMiller, as some say. Anyhow, what more can I tell you about Bulimba Gold Top? Well, in this region, southeast Queensland, or just Queensland in general, it was about 30 or 40 years ago. It was an extremely popular brew. It was discontinued in the 80s, I believe, like a lot of regional brands. Like you may remember the review I did of Brisbane Bitter. Well, it was pretty much the same story there. And yeah, I mean, in other areas of Australia, Carlton United also, discontinued, a lot of regional brands over the course of time. So that's kind of, what the story is as far as, Bulimba Gold Top goes. But as you'd know by some of my previous reviews, and if you watch Jez's beer reviews as well, you'd know that this is part of what Carlton United are calling the Heritage Series. So they're bringing back a lot of these defunct beers from the dead for a limited period of time, which is kind of cool because we all get to collect the cans, but it would kind of be nice if they did bring them back on a permanent basis. It would be nice to see. I do like to see a bit more variety as far as beers concerned, particularly Australian beers. Anyway, I think we should get on with reviewing this can of Bulimba Gold Top Pale Ale, which is in fact a lager. Anyway, without further ado, I'll crack this can open and pour it out into this majestic pub glass. Alright. Okay, so let's make an assessment of the appearance. Alright, let me just hold that up to the light. So the appearance is a very, pale, yellow, kind of heading towards golden colour. It's very transparent, it's very carbonated. There's a very decent amount of head there, just a little over 2 fingers in fact. It's a very, frothy, creamy looking head. I'll just top this up a bit. Okay. Alright, so that's the appearance. Now, what about the aroma? Yeah, it really has your stock standard, Australian macro lager smell, I'm afraid to say. There's definite, smell of, wet cardboard there. Yeah, and probably, there's some hops present there, although it's fairly faint. Alright, let's pour the remainder of the can out. Okay, well, the head retention isn't too bad. Alright, but it is time to dive in, so cheers to you all, as I always say. Alright, well, it has a little bit of a hop bite. Up front it's fairly, sweet and malty. Although there's a bit of, sourness that sort of lingers in the palate. But, it's not too bad. You can also kind of taste the, the adjuncts there as well. There's definitely a taste of corn present. But, overall it's fairly, well balanced and, a fairly, pleasant sort of taste. Much like Brisbane Bitter, it's certainly, a case where it's, easily surpasses, Victoria Bitter in terms of flavour. A friend of mine actually, he's old enough to actually recall, Bulimba Gold Top's heyday, when it was, obviously, very commonplace, and people bought lots of it, and he went as far as saying that it was a very decent beer back then, and he, seriously doubts that, this is, going to taste anything like it. I would like him to try it to hear his opinion, but yeah, he did say that it was a very decent beer. Anyhow, I do need to gulp a bit more of this. Well, that's flavour profile definitely remains consistent on the second gulp. I guess in terms of its drinkability, it's very drinkable, very sessionable. But I could think of a lot of other lagers that I probably prefer to have. But it's not too bad. Like I said, it's certainly better than VB, and it also goes as far as saying it's better than 4X Bitter or 4X Gold. So it is a shame that it's only out for a limited time. What would I give it in terms of a score out of 10? Well, I do have to gulp a bit more before I make my final judgment. Okay, well, in terms of a score out of 10, I'd be inclined to give this 6 out of 10. It's nothing extraordinary, and it's just a little bit better than ordinary. Yeah, so there you go. Anyway, that does bring us to the end of yet another SwillinGrog beer review. So, it shouldn't be too long until the next one. I thought I'd do one during the week. See, I got home from work early enough and the sun was still up. Alright, so until next time, cheers to you all.